Hi to everyone. Recently, I had the situation when my electronic parking brake is stuck and I wasn't able to move my car. But luckily, I get out from that situation and decided to check what is wrong. And that is followed me to check what is inside of the drum rotor. Maybe there is a pads which worn out, or something else happened. So I decided to open it and see what is going in there, and you will see that procedure which finally make that electronic parking brake working perfectly fine. Okay, so first lifting the car, lock the suspension in the access mode and removing the wheels. So now, after remove the wheel, we need to remove the caliper, and there is two nuts. Holding one key is right there. Okay, that was one.
Тоненький ключ надо купить. Этот хуёво лезет.
Okay, now removing the caliper. Just gonna hold it right there. Removing the brake pads. But there should be the special one, we don't have it, but likely this one fit to do this job. Okay, so now using the star, it's T50, removing the star, the axis to the, the holder. So now removing the rotor from its place, and what do we see here? All the mechanism, so this original Land Rover pads. Cannot say that the brake pads are bad. So I bought the new pads from the FCPO. This is ATE. This is the same manufacturer who do the pads for the Land Rover, and as you can see, the thickness of the original pad and replacement is the same. So probably this brake job was done not that long time ago, and all what we need to do basically is just move it in the position where it's gonna still hold the caliper, the rotor. Okay, since we need to lift the second wheel to be able to rotate this rotor, to be able to match the hole to make this adjustment. So the mechanic went for the second jack, and I'll just want to show what is in here. Okay, so this is the clips which fix the rotors in the position, and according to the videos which I saw on YouTube, depends of which wheel you're working. This head, you see, this is the legs kind of, and this is the head. This should always facing this adjustment mechanism. And the braking pads really doesn't looks bad, so the thickness are good. So I'm not really sure why I have the problem with the braking, but maybe it's just the mechanism itself, which is right there. I have the replacement one, but we're gonna try to adjust existing one, and we'll see if not, probably gonna replace that module. Okay, while I'm waiting for the mechanic, just want to show you how the disc looks like inside. So basically, when you apply the parking brake, these pads goes sideways, and that is making the tension, spreading the tension around. And that is making this rotor holding power. So looking at here, what I can say, I don't see pretty much curb here, so that looks really nice and smooth. Probably on more worn rotor you will maybe see some kind of groove at this edge, but here it looks almost smooth. And those are the pads. This one is original from Land Rover, but as you can see, the brand ATE, that's the brand who makes the brake pads. Shoes for the at least this car. Okay, that's the brake pad wear sensor, how it looks like. This how the caliper looks like. And that's how it looks behind. up to avoid the unnecessary unfitment, and aligning the rotor with that hole where we can adjust the drum rotors. I'm sorry, I didn't film the process of the adjusting of those brake pads, but you can find it on many different YouTube channels. So basically the logic, when we have the brake shoes inside of the drum, so we need to put it in the max position so you cannot turn the drum, and then you will need to a little bit lose it so the drum gonna be able to move around the braking pads, and usually it's between 3 to 5 clicks, which is the rotation of that adjusting gear from the max tightened position. So the next video is the process of adjusting from the other side of the car. And on each side you can even a little bit play with that adjustment mechanism to see which motion is spreading pads or squeezing it. And another thing, when you apply it with the flathead screwdriver, you see it kind of clicks. It's because of the tension between the gear and the loaded spring, which you can see on the bottom. Okay, doing the second side, and on the driver's side, it's located at the bottom, that adjusting mechanism. Okay, now after the mechanically the brake shoes were adjusted, so it's time to do the calibration through the Autel scanner. I did not film the whole procedure, but basically there is a service menu which you can press, and the scanner is moving you through these necessary steps, and that way you can adjust your electronic parking braking mechanism according to the new position of the new shoes or adjusted shoes. From the battery, if it's not enough, it will not allow you to do that. So the way how you can move forward, you can probably connect the charger to the battery, or you can start the car for maybe 10-15 seconds. That will give the extra voltages to the battery, and that will allow to run through this procedure with the scanner. Yes, at some point the scanner will gonna say that the car is running, it's not possible to proceed. That way you shut off the car, and that voltages will gonna still generated voltages will be able to give you some time before it will drops to run through the whole procedure. Okay, after the adjustment procedure through the Autel scanner, so installing everything backwards. applying the brake pad wear sensor. Click.
Купить ключ тоньше.
The brake wear pad sensor is installed right here. Okay, I wish I could show you the whole procedure, how we run it through the hotel scanner, but that's pretty much simple. It's just following you through the steps. Yes, it's not filmed like perfectly how I wanted, but at least I wanted to show you in this video what's is under the drum rotor. I wanted to show the closer footages that you can see, and also giving you the idea on how to remove the caliper, how to put it back, service the brake pads, and basically doing this procedure at your own. Not the perfect video, but still will give you some idea. And thinking about the reason why this electronic parking brake is failing, the most of the time, according to my research, that might be the few reasons. The first is the material of the drum pads is worn, and it's not anymore holding the drum. And when you engaging your parking brake, there is a certain amount of movement it can do inside before it will hit itself inside of the mechanism. So the brake pads, from time to time, the drum pads should be adjusted. The second thing, the metal cables, they stretch with the time. That also might be the part of the issue, or they might be torn or worn because of the friction of the frame or whatever. It depends on how you use your car. Here, for example, in Southern California, it's not pretty much the case. The rust, it's not the case, but rust also might be the part of the problem. So I would say from time to time that mechanism should be serviced to avoid the damaging of the plastic gears inside of the mechanism, because in most of the time when is something not adjusted, it starts to hurting the plastic gears and not the motor itself, because the construction of the mechanism is made the way that motor is almost never went out because it's protected through the sliding gear if it exceed the certain amount of the tension from the spring. So this is a small addition, maybe gonna be helpful, and if you like this video, please give it a like.